Cha. Bing, bing, bing. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Stuff. It gets. You want to talk about something lighter instead? Not lighter. I mean,
sure.
Not instead. I don't know. Whatever. Because my problem with the Facebook thing. I'm sorry. Ross Rubin is here with us. Everybody. Ross Rubin. He's from Reticle. Remind me the whole name. I'm sorry.
Reticle Research.
Reticle Research. I'm actually going to write it down this time, Ross, so I don't embarrass myself on. Yeah. So I don't embarrass myself on Wednesday. So that'll be good. It's not. My problem with talking about Facebook is I pretty much just devolve into it's evil and everybody should stop. I realized yesterday I said that Mark Zuckerberg is evil. I apologize. And if any lawyers are listening, I hope that's good enough. Although I don't know. Yeah, I'm not even. Whatever. Let's move on. Let's talk about fun stuff, because this, theoretically is an Apple show, or is at least a show, tied to Apple stuff, because I do so much Apple stuff. Apple has introduced a ton of hardware over the past couple of months. Starting in September, we got the introduction of Apple Watch Series 6, iPad Air 4, and the 8th generation plain old iPad. And then, of course, earlier this month, in October, we got the introduction of all 4 iPhone 12s. So the iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro Max, and HomePod mini. I'm curious what of any of that rings your bell, tickles your fancy, blows your whistle. I don't know. like what was the new thing that Apple has introduced recently that you're like, hey, I'm really liking what they did there, and here's why.
So it's kind of funny because, I'm kind of a tall, big guy. So I tend to gravitate more toward products like the Pro Max, right? Mm-hmm. But I really like the iPhone 12 mini. I think that the predecessor to that product, in some ways, the iPhone SE was, it was a popular product, but it was a little more retro. It had an older style design, and it's great to have something designed for folks who just don't want that big a device, that still really has all the essentials of the platform, the display design, 5G, a lot of the features that people are looking for. In general, I tend to like, kind of like the junior versions of Apple products, if you will. I think the iPad mini, for example, may be my favorite Apple product.
Now, so is this your favorite Apple product personally, or your favorite iPhone personally, or your favorite as far as, they're addressing a segment of the market that they had left on the table, or, is this like, given your druthers, you would actually have an iPhone 12 mini, or you're looking at it from an analytical point and saying that's a thing?
I don't think it would go for me. I just kind of admire, I guess I just kind of admire the approach. I think it's a fun offering in the marketplace. So.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite things about what they did with the iPhone line as far as going to the mini, because you can argue that the iPhone SE, well, I think you just did. I mean, it doesn't have the connectivity. It doesn't have the OLED display. It doesn't have, the same kind of styling, but it was sort of introduced as, you want an iPhone, but you can't really justify the price. Or you want an iPhone, but you're not sure you want to go all in, right. It feels like. I love the fact that the 12 mini, you're only sacrificed, honestly, is how much do you want to spend? And do you need a bigger screen, right? Do I want to spend $100 more
right.
for the iPhone 12? Or do I really want the smaller form? I mean, I like the fact that you weren't choosing based on functionality in anything in the, at least the 12 mini and the 12. Are you replacing an iPhone this year? Do you even use an iPhone? I'm sorry. I'm such an Apple-centric guy. I don't know what you tote.
I use many products.
Oh, okay. All right. So are you getting one of the new iPhones?
I switch around a lot.
All right.
I don't know yet.
Okay. So you're not getting one soon then?
Yeah.
Well, you could still order the 12 Pro Max on the 6th and have it by the 13th. Friday the 13th. So if you normally I know, right? I'm really surprised that we're going to ship them out on Thursday the 12th, because who wants all the Friday the 13th stories if anything goes wrong? I don't know. That's me. So if you're normally interested in the smaller segment of Apple stuff, is there anything about the HomePod mini that does that for you too?
Yeah, so we had to wait a while for the HomePod Mini,
Hmm.
right? So the first HomePod came out, what, two years ago,
I
I
don't know. It
think?
feels
Was
like a
it a
million. I don't know.
18 product?
I honestly don't remember. It's been a while.
It's definitely not been on that annual upgrade cycle. And kind of the funny thing this year was that we saw Apple's competitors first introduce these $99 smart speakers, right? So first you had Amazon with the new Echo, and then you had Google with the new Nest speaker, the rectangular one, and it seemed that up until now, as Apple has gotten deeper into services, they have recognized that they need to make these available on more affordable hardware if they want to expand the audience for the product. So Apple TV Plus is a great example where it's on built into televisions from other consumer electronics companies. You had Apple Music available on the Amazon Echo devices, which of course have very low starting price points. But I think certainly a high percentage of subscribers to Apple Music or Apple TV Plus want that integrated experience. I think that's a big part of the reason they are drawn to Apple content and Apple devices. So I thought Apple did a very good job of highlighting, showcasing the Mini and the HomePod Mini and showing how it really unlocks a key for them in the smart home. The other cool thing about the demonstration was that it really showed the power that they have in maintaining market leadership in a couple of different categories. So with this intercom feature, you can shout out a request to the family, which you can do on some of the competitive products, but with the HomePod, it's going to show up on the iPhone. It's going to show up on AirPods. It's going to so that's a great example of how they can tie things together.
Is $99 low enough? And I'll be honest. I have not. The last time I thought about an Echo was like an Echo Dot or something like that. Basically, I haven't wanted to have a ton of Amazon hardware around my house because I don't like the whole listening to everything I do and then sometimes emailing it to people, which I know it's been a while since that's happened. We haven't heard those stories in a while, but that will always be the story I think about. What I've thought about it, it's like, okay, I might try one for $25 because at least that would give me like a working knowledge of the platform, say. I was not conscious of the fact that they had $99 and above. I mean, did Apple almost... Does the HomePod Mini become competitive not because it's cheap now, but because competitors have gotten more expensive, or at least have more expensive offerings that people are finding palatable?
Well, I certainly, in the case of Amazon, you're going to see, not surprisingly, far higher volumes at the lower price points. But I think maybe Apple was fortunate, or maybe they had an inkling of what was going on, in that there was a strong precedent in that Amazon does its most significant redesign, and it releases this spherical speaker at $99, and Google releases its new mainstream smart speaker at $99. So yeah, the competitive advantage is not so much that price point, but exactly what you say. You get, for $99, you're going to get the good quality, good audio quality. You're going to get the smart speaker functionality, and you're going to get the degree of privacy that Apple keeps talking about. Whereas if you want to go lower than that, then you may have to make some compromises.
What's the last piece of technology that really excited you? I'm curious, and I'm not talking necessarily just about Apple, but when you say, like I said, do you use an iPhone? You said I use many different devices. I'm assuming that the same is true for. I'm assuming the same is true for consumer electronics around the house. What was the last thing? And no points off if it's not an Apple thing. What was the last thing that I might go to Best Buy and buy that you're like that's the thing that turned me on? Or are you watching so much stuff at this point? Are you like a comedian at another comedian's show where you're not laughing? You're just going, "Oh, that's interesting." Do you know what I mean?
Am I a clown to you? Am I a clown to you?
Oh, that's right. Well,
What do
you
mean
are.
I'm funny.
You are here to blank and amuse me. I will tell you that. No, but what is it? What's the last thing that really turned you on, or does technology turn you on anymore? Or are you just watching the whole thing, from 30,000 feet?
Sure. I'm excited about this idea of folding screens. I think it extends this idea that's been sort of a constant in consumer electronics for a long, long time, that we want the maximum amount of screen real estate in the minimum amount of space, right? Mm-hmm. So when you look at things like the Galaxy Fold and the ThinkPad, the folding ThinkPad that they're coming out with, I'm not going to say these are perfect products, far, far from it. With the Fold, for example, the price that you pay for having that screen expanse is a device that, when folded, is twice as thick in your pocket. And there are still seams, and we still have a long way to go. And there are challenges with getting Android apps to take full advantage of new things happening in that ecosystem, as there always is. But if it's not folding per se, maybe it's some kind of rolling screen where you don't have to compromise so much when it's rolled up. I like this idea of being able to, when you're in different kinds of settings, here I am at a desk or a table. I have a little more time. I want to have a little more focus. I could use a little more screen, and products like this can help facilitate that.